Hello, welcome to my channel. So today I decided to go over my story on my nursing journey, or how I started down the path to become a nurse. So back when I was in the 8th grade, I remember a paper I had to write, or a little paragraph or something. I don't know what they do in the 8th grade, but I had to explain my future, what I wanted to do. And at that time, I said I wanted to become a pediatrician, and I wanted to attend the illustrious Florida A&M College in Tallahassee, Florida. And that's what my goal was in the 8th grade. Well, fast forward to high school. I'm sorry, I'm sitting in the parking lot of my job. I got here a little early, and I decided to do this story. So in high school, the high school I went to was Andrew Jackson Senior High School in Jacksonville, Florida. And they had a program for medical students, those who wanted to go some type of way in the medical field. It was called Medical Magnet. And I did that for the first 2 years. But if you was to complete the program, I believe that once you graduated, you would have your certification for like a CNA, to be a certified nursing assistant and whatnot. So basically, you kind of had your foot in the door to do something in the medical field. You basically, learned the basics, like how to do vital signs, take weight, things like that. But I only did it for 2 years because my high school also provided a program where you can work, and I was money hungry, so I decided to do that. I decided to work. It was a partnership with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and I was a data entry clerk where I entered in the claims. I mean, I was working on real life stuff, and in high school that was a lot of money. For 11th and 12th grade, I was able to do like most of my senior stuff. I still had help from my mom, and she didn't make me work. I just wanted my own money. I didn't have bills. The only thing I had was a pager, but that's what I wanted to do at that time. College, in high school, it really wasn't a main priority. It wasn't until my senior year when they were like, hey, you need to prepare to take your SATs and your ACTs. And I'm like, okay. So I took it one Saturday. I didn't prepare for it. I didn't study for it at all. Then they were like, okay, you need to apply for college. Again, I'm like, okay, but I was basically doing this stuff because this is what they were saying I had to do. I really didn't have the mindset, okay, you're a senior, you need to get ready to go to college. It just wasn't me. I guess I was going to be in the working world. Like I said, I was already making money. I wanted to go out and make some more money. So I sat down for my ACTs, SATs. I didn't do that well. I mean, I never excelled in high school as far as like making all A's and all B's. I was a BC student, and I was cool with that. I mean, I didn't have to study at all. I just came in, turned my work in, did my work. I got a B or a C, and I was fine with that. The only class I really did have to study in was math, because I hate math. Oh my gosh, I could save that for a whole nother topic, but that's the only class that I really had to study for in high school. I was okay with getting C's. So I applied to a few colleges. A few I was accepted into, which Florida A&M was one of them. I was accepted, but when it was time to go, I decided not to go because I didn't have the mindset of going, and I didn't think I was ready mentally to go. I'm like, I'm go up there in Tallahassee, and I don't know anything. I don't know the process of what to do, how to get my dorms. I just didn't know anything. I didn't feel prepared, so I decided to stay home. At that point, so I graduated in 1997, and I decided to stay home, and I went to a community college here. At the time, it was called Florida Community College of Jacksonville. And yeah, like that saying that they say college isn't for everyone, I think I fell in that statistics because it was like a culture shock. Okay, here I am in this class. The teachers don't even care if you come to class. They give you reading assignments or homework assignments, but they're not even gonna pick them up. So what am I doing them for? So once I realized they didn't care if you did it, I didn't do it. Not, knowing now I know that it's to prepare you for the test, to help you get ready to succeed in this class. But yeah, I just didn't do the work. Then eventually I stopped going. Again, they didn't care. They wasn't really taking roles. They took roles, but they wasn't gonna call my mom and say, hey, she didn't come to class today, so hey, it didn't matter if you took roll. Yeah, that didn't work out too good. So I started failing all of my classes. I was making D's, F's, or I was just withdrawing out of the classes. Oh, my transcript was looking horrible. So I was like, okay, college isn't for me. Let me just go get me a good job and work. So I did little odds and end jobs. Like I worked at a pharmacy, Walgreens. I worked at America Online. That's when the internet, started being a big thing. America Online, they spoiled me because I made a lot of money being a young girl. I did have my daughter since I wasn't in college. I was just living the life. So I had a daughter at that time, but I was making a lot of money at America Online. I was not dependent on my parents for anything. I moved out, so I felt like I was doing good. Then America Online closed down. And I was like, okay, now I got to find another customer service job, which I went to Citibank at that time. And it was the same thing, customer service, but I did not like Citibank at all. I mean, I just didn't like it. And then I had to come to a reality check, and I'm like, okay, I need to make some decisions in life. What do I want to do for the rest of my life? So at that time, I decided to go back to school. And you can see the difference in my transcript. If you pull up my transcript, you can see the D's, F's, withdrawals. And then all of a sudden, when I went back to class, the second go around, I'm making A's and B's. So it wasn't like I was dumb. It was just a lack of effort in the beginning. Okay, so I did all of my classes. I needed one more class. And I want to say it was my second English, but I can't be 100% sure. But they were like, you could test out of this class. I was like, what do you mean test out? And they were like, you could pay a fee, take the test. If you feel like you know it, you could take the test, and if you pass it, that's it, you pass it. And she was like, you can get a P, which is equivalent to a C, or you get an F, then you didn't pass. So I paid the money, I tested out, and I passed. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all should have told me this a long time ago, and I would have had my degree in something by now. Okay, so I applied for the nursing program, and in Jacksonville, Florida Community College of Jacksonville, their nursing program is kind of competitive to get into, and I believe it's because it's a whole lot cheaper than going to the universities, such as we have UNF, University of North Florida, Jacksonville University. We have a couple of university colleges that have the nursing program, but it's competitive because FCCJ was a lot cheaper. So you had to take your prereqs, and then you also had to take a nursing entrance exam. It was called the NAT exam, nursing aptitude test or something like that. And then they multiply all of your grades, and they multiply the exam score, and then you get a baseline score. And at that time, I don't know if it's the same now, but at that time they had a cutoff point. So I'm just going to throw out some numbers because I don't know what the numbers was. But say you had to have between a 900, they were accepting applicants who had between a 900 and 1,000. If you didn't have 900, no need to apply because you wasn't getting that, basically. So I applied. I didn't know exactly what I had on my nursing aptitude test because it was that close to the deadline, because I was real close. That's why I did I tested out of that other class, because I didn't have time to actually take that class if I wanted to start in the fall. So everything was really time constraint for me. So as time kept getting closer and closer for the fall season to start, I had not yet received a denial letter or an acceptance letter. And I'm like, okay, I must be didn't get in. I said, but I still should receive some type of communication from them. So I decided to call, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't get in, you were denied. So I was like, oh, really? Okay, at this point, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, now what I'm gonna do with my life? I'm gonna be in customer service forever. So I said, well, can you go over my classes with me? I don't know why I even thought to ask that, because hey, they got the computers, it should be right there. So she started going over all of my classes, And I realized that they did not count the one class that I tested out of, the one that had a P, which is equivalent to a C. So they did not count that. So I said, does that not count towards my grades? And she was like, oh yeah, it does count. So she recalculated everything, and she was like, okay, you can come get your nursing package. You've been accepted. You can come get your acceptance letter. And I'm like, just like that, do you not realize that this is a life-changing thing that you guys just told me I was denied? And if I didn't even call, I would have to do a whole nother career change. Or if I just would have accepted the fact that I was denied, my whole career would have to change. But because I had the sense of urgency to call you guys and then also to go over my grades, just those two little things alone, now I could just come pick up my nursing package. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all just don't understand the stress y'all putting me under. So I went and got my package, and then there's a check-off list of everything you have to have done before orientation. I'm less than a month out at this time. I have to go to get my background check done, fingerprints. I have to get my titers and immunizations. I'm like doing stuff every day to try to get, and I'm at the doctor's office. I'm like, I really need these results like on a rush order, and they looking at me like, girl, sit down somewhere. But it was like, I really, really need this. I really need this. So I got everything turned in, and then I started the nursing program. So, with all of the distractions that were going on, it was really by chance that I got the opportunity to pursue nursing and to do this job. And I'm really happy and blessed because, as my motto goes, as far as nursing is the hardest job I'll ever love, because this is a hard job. You just can't come off the street to do nursing. I had an instructor tell me once, we can get someone off the street to pass pills, but it's more to it than that. And once you get into it, you'll understand where he's coming from. But I really love what I do, and I really don't consider it work. And even on my, on a bad day or on my worst day, I still love this job. So I'm glad that was a career choice that I made and was able to pursue, and it's 9 years later and I'm still doing it. So I'm gonna have some blogs on my journey. Now I'm in graduate school. I'm doing my MSN in forensic nursing. So I may have a link to that over here, right there. I'm gonna be precepting a student soon. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a female, but maybe we can get some vlogs in the preceptorship. We got to be careful with HIPAA and all of that, but maybe we can get something going on. But yeah, just tell me what you like, some comments that you want me to talk on. Subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification, and we'll do this career together. Thanks for watching.